What's this? I don't know how to say this. Why Bealrid? Ebelrid? I'm
Sure,
sorry
why
if
not?
I'm butchering your name, friend. I'm sure it sounds righteously awesome, or is a cool acronym. I don't know which. But why asks, any thought about the existence of a non-Linux based GNU distribution like Debian or BSD or Debian Herd or Arch Herd? Free joke about the Herd as a Unix-like kernel that will never be released as a stable, usable piece of software is required here. By the way,
Definitely
I use
true.
Arch. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. Yes, Herd will never get released. Blah blah blah
No.
blah blah. Whatever. Actually, I did the math around this. I did a video probably about 2 or 3 years ago where I did the math, and at the current rate of progress about 2 years ago, Herd was due to be released like 37 years down the line. Like if you took the total number of bugs and work items that were in their bug tracking system and how fast they were being fixed, assuming no new issues arose, they were 37 years away from shipping 1.0. So anyway, so non-Linux GNU operating systems. I got one, but
well, no, I mean, and I can't speak to the GNU-ness of one thing or another because I honestly, that's whatever. But my big thing, as far as any operating system of any kind, from the most obscure to the most popular,
yes,
they all have one thing in common.
With
For
what?
at least one person, they all solve a problem for a lot of people, or at least one person.
Sure.
Linux, the kernel, when it was done, was solving a problem for Linus. So
runs on a 386 and it's free.
Yeah, exactly. So this whole, like Herd or anything else like that, it's like, who cares? I mean, it doesn't. What are you going to do with it? What's it? Even some of the really obscure stuff. Maybe there's like that one operating system you're always going on about that runs Windows binaries and whatnot. That's cool. It's designed to do that thing.
React, right?
Yeah, React. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So React does a thing that you can point to tangibly and say, I'm reacting to React. It actually runs Windows software. That does something that someone out there probably
it's
cares
free
about.
software, but it runs Windows binaries, right?
It's solving a problem for somebody somewhere.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's cool. But if it doesn't do something like that, if whatever the operating system is doesn't address that, who the hell cares? It's a moot point. I'm just no, hell no way, man.
So there are some.
No.
Well, you know what you do have that's a little GNU and not Linux.
What's that?
Haiku.
Okay, there you go. All right.
It's not fully GNU, but there are some GNU toolchain things in there.
That's fine.
And it's really
what's it
easy.
Do, though? Like what's its purpose in life? I mean, like, is it serving butter?
It is pervasively
like
multi-threaded. Meaning, so it's insanely responsive and almost impossible to make it not be responsive.
Because it's like a BIOS kind of deal, right?
It is. It's the free software re-implementation of BOS. Right. So it's Haiku, which means like every button is its own thread. So if you've got if you've got 16 cores, right, in your PC, you could literally have a single application without doing a whole lot of work with 16 buttons on it, and every button is using its own CPU core at that point, which means it's hard to lock it up, right? So everything is pervasively multi-threaded, almost ridiculously multi-threaded, and there's good and bad with that, but it does result in a very fast, very responsive system, and it is a very quality system. I highly recommend people check it out, and that is a place where if it's GNU-y enough, or newy enough, however you want to pronounce it, where it's easy to bring in pretty much any POSIX-y style software and just compile it on it. So if you want to run Alpine or Emacs or Vim or whatever you want to run in your terminal there, it's if it's not already there, it's easy just to rebuild it using GCC and the whole GNU toolchain.
Well, considering all the threading it's doing, I mean, tell me this: why isn't it called? Why isn't it called Enter the Dragon? Because I mean, that's really what I would be calling Haiku. No, it's just Enter the Dragon, man.
Let's just go Bruce Lee OS.
Okay, Bruce, or Bruce Leroy. I would be okay with that as well.
Bruce Leroy.
I'm good with either. But I definitely want some kung fu reference in there.
Do you know why it's called Haiku? All right. History lesson. The B operating system was started by a guy named Jean-Louis Gasset, who was the head of Apple in France way back when. He started the B operating system, B Incorporated, and inside that operating system, darn near every error message was written in haiku form. It was just this running thing. The engineers were like, error messages are stupid. So they had some sort of meeting where they were like talking about like how should we have a human interface guideline around error messages? And we're like, I don't know. Make them haikus. Make them all little short poems. And so like literally you'd go with their web browser to like a web page that wasn't there. Instead of a standard 404, you'd get this weird cryptic 404 file not found, like leaves falling from trees. Like it was like this little haiku. It was beautiful. And so they called the new operating system just haiku as a reference. Funnily enough, haiku has very few haikus in it, which I think is a mistake. Haiku team, you need to get on haikus being everywhere in the system, in my personal opinion.
Is the problem with computer history. There's just too many words. I feel like we just need to shave that down to they did stuff and that's why it's a thing. And I don't know. That's just me.
That's just you. That's just Matt, everybody. So yes, there are GNU operating system out there. In fact, you can get some of the Eros, the Amiga Research Operating System. You can get a lot of the GNU tool chain over on that.
That's pretty cool.
You can get GNU tool chain stuff, which is really what a GNU distribution is at this point. If you get GCC and all that and throw Emacs on it, you're done. You got a GNU system, baby. You can get it on almost every system in the planet at this point, including Windows, which makes me feel weird.
That is
but
weird.
technically, almost every operating system on the planet is GNU / that operating system at this point. At least once you install like a couple of things. GCC and Emacs and so many GNU tools are just so prevalent now. They're everywhere. I mean, why not grab Nano and install it and put it on a place? It's an amazing text editor. Moving on from